Main lights are on here. जी. A very good evening to all of you. I hope you can see me right now. There was some a bit darkness. So here, once again in front of you, and today we're gonna discuss how to read literary theory. What should be the right criteria to read literary theory? What are the biggest problems of students while they prepare literary theory, and what are the limitations? So before we talk about the agenda of this particular class today, let's welcome all the students who are here. So good evening, each and everyone. Assalamu alaikum, sasrikal, namaskar. This is Vineet Pandey in front of you. We'll take 2 minutes to wait for the other students, and then we will switch back to the topic. Walaikum assalam, Nadia ji. This courtesy thing is very much required. We must respect courtesy. We must respect each other. रूही फातिमा जी छत्तीसगढ़ से कैसे हैं आप? जय जोहार फ्रॉम छत्तीसगढ़. एक बहुत अच्छा क्वेश्चन आ चुका है. द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन दैट इज नॉट रिलेटेड टू लिटरेरी थ्योरी बट इज रिलेटेड टू पीएचडी. सो आई विल आंसर दिस थिंग कि पीएचडी में टॉपिक कैसे चूज करें. एंड वन स्टूडेंट हैज रिटन दैट वी आर विनीत पांडे स्क्वाड. देयर इज अ नेम विनीतियन. ये स्टूडेंट्स ने ही दिया है मुझे. द नेम हैज बीन गिवन टू मी बाय स्टूडेंट्स ओनली ऑफ द लास्ट बैच. Vinetian. So they said just like IITian, we are Vinetian. And it was an amazing honor given to me by my students. Now get back to the PhD topic. The concept of choosing a particular PhD topic. See, PhD is a research. So it shows that you are interested in research. You want to do something in a particular topic. First of all, this topic should come from your own reading habits. Means your own choices. You are going for PhD. It should be your choice of topic. ये आपका topic होना चाहिए. It should not be even given by the teachers. But sometimes the students, they don't know. Sometimes we don't realize our own potentials. You remember the story of Ramayana? Hanuman ji, the Lord Hanuman ji the Lord, Bhagwan jo the, he forgot all his powers. And when they had to cross the ocean, जब उन्हें तालाब समुद्र cross करना था, so all the other the team members, all other the soldiers of Ram's Sena, they started reminding Hanuman ji about his powers. So sometimes you have to be reminded of. आपको अपनी powers को जानने की जरूरत पड़ती है. First of all, find out the area of interest you want to go. When you read literature, literature tells you a lot of things which are still unexplored. Literature आपको बताता है कि बहुत सारे topics अभी unexplored हैं. So you can choose whether you have to go for those topics or you have a particular bent of mind. Some of you are poets. You can go for a PhD dealing with some poetic topic. Some of you believe in post-colonial things and want to go for post-colonials. Some of you think that feminism is the perfect topic for me. Many of you can be very much interested in science fiction. Some of you can be interested in Dalit literature, Dalit writings. Many of you want to know what is the latest tradition in literature. What are the future hopes or the potentials of literature? Some of you can go for queer theory, some of you can go for literary theory. So technically the topic should always be yours. Topic हमेशा आपका होना चाहिए. Sometimes the student tell me, sir, you give me a topic. See, I have read this much. So if I give you a topic, it will not be the easy one. Then you will be troubled that sir gave me the toughest topic. So find out your own topic. Go for something where your heart says, your mind says, and then give a best effort. Go for the authentic research and make your PhD worthy for it. सूरज, आपका जो क्वेश्चन है ये आपने कहाँ से पढ़ लिया है? और जो आपको बता रहा होगा वो पक्का मेरा राइवल होगा. Now we talk about literary theory. Yes. So for the books we talk about literary theory, there are Peter Berry, Raman Selden and many other books which are available. You can go for all these things. Even in Indian version, and Krishna Swami is also there. Now remember this point. When you prepare literary theory, always start with new criticism and formalism. सबसे पहले new criticism पढ़ो, then formalism पढ़ो. New criticism is the base of literary theory. And moreover, how new criticism starts? New criticism starts when the tradition and individual talent written by T.S. Eliot talks about the writer's own pattern of writing, writer's own reference of contemporary literature. T.S. Eliot is a bridge between criticism and literary theory. So make sure you remember that T.S. Eliot is the bridge, and moreover, T.S. Eliot is also the part of new criticism. T.S. Eliot says that new criticism is a kind of lemon squeezing. That the thing has been related to the lemon squeezing thing. Second thing that you have to remember is that empiricism is also the base of it. Empiricism is actually a philosophy which deals with the concept that everything that comes to you, that every observation that comes to you should be based on your observation. So आपको एक चीज याद रखनी है अच्छे से, that it's very simple. It's simple. आप empiricist point of view से life को जियो. Empiricist point of view क्या होता है? Empiricist point of view is that you rely upon something that is experienced by you. So सबसे पहले किसी के बोलने पे, किसी के कहने पे, किसी के सुनने पे अगर आप अपना नॉलेज डेवलप करते हैं, आपका सच किसी का बताया हुआ सच है, वो आपका अपना सच नहीं है. Empiricist philosophy says that you must experience before you accept something as truth. That's empiricist philosophy. Now, second thing, that is how it is related to new criticism. The theories simply believe that if you are studying a book, there is always a different approach of every reader reading a book. एक ही किताब को मल्टीपल लोग अलग अलग तरीके से पढ़ सकते हैं, तो एक ही किताब का अलग अलग मीनिंग है. सो टेक्निकली व्हेन यू रीड द टेक्स्ट, go for in-depth reading of the text, relate the vocab, relate the words, relate it to the context, and find out the real meaning. So technically the new criticism idea is simply saying that the text is autonomous. Text is a kind of text which is not having any reference of outside. मतलब न्यू क्रिटिसिज्म क्या कहता है कि जो किताब है वो अपने आप में कंप्लीट है, ऑटोनोमस है, और बाहर से कोई भी जो डायरेक्ट जो क्या बोलते हैं रेफरेंसेज हैं वो किताब में नहीं है. सो टेक्निकली व्हेन यू रीड दिस बुक यू विल फाइंड आउट दैट वॉट एवर द मीनिंग कम्स इट लाइज इन द बुक. ये बुक के अंदर ही है, आपको अलग से कोई रेफरेंस नहीं मिलेगा. सो रिमेंबर दिस थिंग दैट न्यू क्रिटिसिज्म बिलीव्स दैट द टेक्स्ट इज ऑटोनॉमस. टेक्स्ट हैज नो एक्सट्रेनियस रिलेशन. या एक्सट्रेनियस रिलेशन मतलब बाहर की किसी दुनिया से कोई भी मतलब नहीं है. नाउ रिपीटिंग दिस थिंग वंस अगेन, एक सिंपल सा चीज है. यू गो to find out some vegetables in the market. How do you buy the vegetables? The vegetable is in front of you. You pick the vegetable, you see the quality, and then you buy it. Or you just buy the vegetable because the vegetable vendor is your friend, because the vegetable vendor has a great name, because the vegetable vendor has some great political connection. How do you buy the vegetable? You will say that, sir, we do not listen all these things. We just check the vegetables. If the quality is good, we buy it, right? So this is the thing, when you read the text, do not go for any textual reference, any title, any other influential things which can influence your brain. So इनमें से कुछ नहीं पढ़ना है. Simply focus on the book, read the book, try to find out the content, try to understand this thing कि आपका जो base है, book का base है वो क्या है. That is the correct reading. Always remember that is correct reading. So most of the students, they make a mistake. When we read a book written by a female writer, we simply believe that it's a feminist text. No, not all the women who are writing are feminist. This is really wrong to categorize the books written by women, calling them feminist books. अगर क्या women सिर्फ feminist ही हैं क्या? women की अपनी बहुत बड़ी identity है, बहुत बड़ी चीज़ है. So technically we cannot say that all the women who are writing are feminist only, but we must read the book. So when you read the book, you will find out that even the male writers have written feminist text. Like Olive Skriner, he has written feminist text. Then if you talk about J.S. Mill, he has written feminist text. There are other male writers who have spoken for the female rights. So technically, मतलब ये है कहने का कि text को पढ़ो. There is nothing out of the text. Here we have two different fallacies: intentional fallacy and affective fallacy. Intentional fallacy is something that a writer wants to write and convey something, but it does not reach to the reader directly. राइटर कुछ कहना चाह रहा है, रीडर के पास डायरेक्टली नहीं पहुंच रहा है. इंटेंशंस जो है राइटर के, उसमें प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट हो रहा है. हाउ इट इज क्रिएटेड? इट्स सिंपल. द कॉन्सेप्ट इज बाय W.K. Wimsatt and William Beardsley. In a famous book, The Verbal Icon, this appears. Intentional fallacy is that when a writer writes, राइटर कैसे बुक लिखता है? जस्ट थिंक अबाउट इट, दैट हाउ डज अ राइटर राइट अ बुक. सोचो कि एक राइटर कैसे किताब लिखता है. जस्ट टेल मी अबाउट दिस थिंग. थिंक अबाउट इट. जस्ट थिंक. मोनी चौधरी, मैं आपका कमेंट नहीं पढ़ पा रहा हूँ, मैं पढ़ाने में फोकस कर रहा हूँ. I'm not able to read the comments because I'm focusing on the class. Somebody has written the writer writes with a pen and paper. No, my friend, writer does not write like that. It's not pen and paper that the writer writes. It's the ideas in the brain which are articulated in a language, and the language comes on page. If I am talking to you, I want to talk to you about literary theory. My brain is giving me a language, a grammatical language, a language which has a proper communication. I am speaking first line, then I'm speaking second line, then I'm connecting with third line. So technically, all the knowledge, all the things which are stored in my mind, I am coding it. I am making a code language. So what I'm speaking right now is my code language. So writer has emotions, writer has thought, then writer chooses vocabulary, writer chooses the words and encodes his message. Suppose you have a great emotion, you also have a great emotion, you want to write, but then you write in French language and you are really bad, really weak in French language. Will you be able to write? No. You will have to go for a language where you know how to encode. So writer encoded his message. Now his message out of his brain has come and is in the book. अभी बुक में क्या है? बुक में राइटर का दिमाग है, राइटर का ब्रेन है. राइटर, first of all, if you relate Plato, it is the imitation. It is not original thing. The original idea was in writer's brain. Writer used his knowledge. Writer used his grammatical knowledge. Writer wrote the book. The book is in front of you. The book has encoded language. Now the reader who purchases the book, he does not read the writer's mind. He simply reads the encoded language. अब राइटर ने इनकोड कर दिया लैंग्वेज को. रीडर क्या पढ़ रहा है? रीडर के सामने क्या है? व्हाट डज द रीडर हैव इन फ्रंट ऑफ हिम? द रीडर हैज encoded language in front of him. Now tell me this, the reader who is going to read the encoded language, he is going to decode it in his way. Remember, reader will decode everything in his point of view. Reader comes from a community, reader comes from society, reader comes from a particular area, a particular gender, a particular class. So technically the reader has his understandings. रीडर का अपना सोचने का तरीका है. So reader can think anything. I'll make it easy for you. I'll make it easy for you. Have you ever faced this kind of situation with your family, friends, or partners or best friends, that you are trying to say something good, but what people understand is something bad? कभी ऐसा हुआ है कि आपने अच्छा कहने की कोशिश की है और लोगों को बुरा नजर आया है? आपको हुआ है आपके साथ ऐसा? Have you ever faced it that you are trying to say something good, but what people understand is something bad? ऐसा हुआ आपके साथ? सब लोग कह रहे हैं यस सर होता है. How many of you have heard the song of Rockstar movie, जो भी मैं कहना चाहूं बर्बाद करें अल्फाज मेरे? So, and there is a great saying also, one quote, that I am responsible for what I say, not responsible for what you understand. So reader comes from a community of understanding, learning. If a reader is from India, he has Indian mindset. If a reader is from other West country, he has a different mindset. So reader will read the encoded language and try to decode the language from his point of view. And this is how the first meaning, writer's idea, second meaning, the book, the third meaning that a reader has developed is totally different. This is called intentional fallacy. आपको intentional fallacy अगर किसी ने ऐसे समझाया है तो बताइएगा. This is called intentional fallacy. I'll make it very easy for you in Vineet Pandey style. What will happen if in India, in the market, you make a whistle sound in front of women? अगर आप लेडीज के सामने इंडिया में मार्केट में ऐसा विसल करते हैं, आई डोंट नो हाउ टू डू दैट, बट आई नो दिस द वे. क्या होगा इंडिया में? What will happen in India if you tease them with this kind of thing? You'll be beaten up. You whistled. Whistling is a message. Its sound is encoded language, decoded by Indian women. You are beaten up. आपकी पिटाई हो जाएगी. Do you think the same thing will happen in America if you're doing it? In America, you're doing the same thing. They don't have this kind of culture. They may start praising you that, oh my God, the Xerox copy of A.R. Rahman. Wow, what a new way of music, producing music. So the understanding is also very important phenomena. This is the reason that with new criticism, reader response theory got developed. समझ गए आप गए? What you say is your language competence. How it will be performed is language performance. In the words of Noam Chomsky, if we go for structural linguistics, language is an independent thing. It's arbitrary. It doesn't have any connection. It simply gets casted in a society. And a society has multi-layer structure society. अगर आप society के बारे में बात करें, especially we take the reference of Bayesian carnivalesque dialogism. This is the point important. I have बहुत ज़्यादा important point है. Second thing is that there are no independent meanings. Yesterday I got a call by a Pakistani student, so I was trying to explain the same thing. There is no independent meaning of anything. Try to understand what I'm telling you. Literary theory becomes tough because Indian students have no option. They simply read the book written by Western writers in a tough language, क्लिष्ट भाषा में, कठिन भाषा में लिखी होती है, तो बच्चों को समझ नहीं आता है. And most of the teachers that I have seen, they simply read the book and narrate it in the bookish language. अगर आप बुकिश लैंग्वेज में पढ़ाओगे तो बच्चा नहीं समझेगा. You must explain the students from his point of view. Now, dialogism, I'm going to talk about dialogism. I'm going to talk about hearsay of paraphrasing. Hearsay of paraphrasing is a concept of Clint Brooks. Now, in hearsay of paraphrasing, it simply says that the language does not have independent meaning. Language का अपना कोई meaning नहीं होता दोस्तों. Language का meaning जो है वो बनाया जाता है. And dialogism is a term by Mikhail Bakhtin. Bakhtin's philosophy of dialogism, that two different people having a communication, a conversation can lead the readers for some other meaning. So remember this thing, that first we're going to talk about hearsay of paraphrasing. You will tell me the answer. I will involve you in my lecture. You tell me this thing, that what is the independent meaning of do good, have good? What do you mean by it? Till then, I'll take some breathings. What do you mean by this thing? Bakhtin, Bakhtin, Mikhail Bakhtin. What do you mean by do good, have good? Do good, have good. What do you mean by this? So Pooja has written that do good, have good means do good, have good. अच्छा करोगे, अच्छा मिलेगा. भला करोगे, भला मिलेगा. What do you mean by अच्छा? What do you mean by good? What is good according to you? What is good according to you? You said now we'll do good, we will have good. So what is that good according to you? If I am a cruel man, a villain by nature, killing people is good for me. My good is to live my life in my way. A student will say that my good is to study, to do research. A rich man will say that my good is to have a lot of money. So the good doesn't have any independent meaning. So when you say do good, have good, it doesn't have any independent meaning. For example, somebody is trying to kill a person. You are passing by, and then the person, the murderer, he looks at you, and you also look at him, and you try to change his heart. You say, brother, do good, have good. So you wanted to say that leave him, do good job, do good things. But what he understood was that killing is my profession. He says, do good, do better in your killings, and have good, have better reputation. So he killed him with all his heart, all his emotions involved. How will you understand what exactly do good and have good have a meaning? Have you heard all the moral tales? They will always give you a story of a thirsty crow. When you will read the complete story, then in the last you will find out that might is right. So technically the language doesn't have any independent meaning. एक स्टूडेंट ने लिखा भी है कि सर आप क्या कहना चाह रहे हैं, सर के ऊपर से जा रहा है. Yes, that's literary theory. But language doesn't have an independent meaning. Language always have a contextual meaning. Language का हमेशा एक contextual meaning होता है, context से related meaning होता है. Okay, how it is related to context? What do you mean by this thing? I'll see you. You can say like this, I'll see you. And you can also say that, I'll see you. What are the two different meanings? Tell me. The first one is, I'll see you. And second one is, I'll see you. So the first one is also, I'll see you. The second one is also, I'll see you. What do you mean by that? It's simple. The context. If there is a fight scene, there is some, quarrel scene, and somebody says, I'll see you, it means he will see the person, he will fight back. And it's a normal scene, friendly people, friends around, the context is of a friendly environment. It will be like, bye, tata. A student has given a good example. When you say somebody, I am your dad, that doesn't mean that you become a biological dad. It means that you want to say that I am stronger than you, I'm powerful than you. So technically what you say and what it gives as a meaning is based on the context. Now remember this thing कि context सबसे ज़्यादा important है. Repeating once again, the context means the things around. Now if you question what is context, context is everything that helps a language to give a meaning. So context हर वो चीज़ है जिससे meaning develop होता है. Everything that gives a meaning, that's context. इसमें और बहुत depth में है. That when something doesn't give the meaning, that is also a meaning. Meaninglessness has a meaning. But that is deconstruction. We will go in the depth of this thing. That even every meaningless situation has a meaning. So there is a meaning in meaninglessness. प्रेरणा जोशी आप क्लास में हैं, आप रेस्ट करो, आपकी तबीयत खराब थी, टेक केयर. आप काफ़ी ब्रिलियंट स्टूडेंट है, लेकिन आपको भी रेस्ट करना चाहिए. Now we talk about the second thing, dialogism. How dialogism or a dialogic conversation, the dialogues lead us for the third language. If two people are talking to each other, do you always get the same meaning they want to express, or you also get third meaning? Have you ever seen this kind of thing, a conversation between two people are talking to each other and you are drawing a third meaning? आपने तीसरा मीनिंग बनते देखा है कभी, थर्ड मीनिंग बनते हुए? When two people are talking to each other, you are listening and you are finding the third meaning. Another meaning which is not intended by those people. I'll make it very easy for all of you in VINEET Pandey style. मैं आपको अपने तरीके से बताता हूँ. You are sitting all alone. It's midnight. It's a bus stand. You are all alone. Two people come to you and start talking to each other. One says, I will break his hand. One says, I will break his leg. What is your meaning? What did you understand? You understood? Let's run away. That's third meaning. There are two people talking to each other. That is, every person has a perspective, a point of view. Every person knows that he is right. But the listener finds out the meaning which comes out of that context. How? How dialogism is related? It's quite simple. Generally, I use one of my repeatedly used example in my online class, in my offline class. मैं एक example use करता हूँ, same example मैं आपके आगे use करूँगा. The repeated example. Hello Mahmood, I have seen your comment. अभी lecture है, that's why I'm not responding. I have seen your comment. Now, see, if a mother has two kids and the two kids they fight to each other, how these two kids they come to the mother? ये दोनों बच्चे कैसे आते हैं? These two kids they come to mother with their own narration. Own narration. The first kid comes to mother and says that I am innocent, he is guilty, he was beating me, he was troubling me. So he will narrate a complete story to the mother. That is monologism, a storytelling, monologism, which will be later studied by the famous writer Vladimir Prop. Vladimir Prop will study this. लिख लेना इसको. So the person has actually simply narrated his side. Now the second kid comes. Second kid also narrates the same story with some necessary changes. Second जो kid है, जो दूसरा बच्चा है, he also narrates the same story with some required changes. He said no, he was beating me, he was cursing me, he was abusing me. Now the mother has the idea of two different narrations. Mother knows this guy, mother knows that guy. Now how mother is going to get the meaning? अब जो माँ है उसको कैसे समझ में आएगा? Mother has one narration, mother has another narration. She will pick up the points from both of the narration and will develop the third meaning, the understanding. That is the direct reality. In the play of G.B. Shaw, in the plays of Henrik Ibsen, in the play of John Galsworthy, you will always find the example of dialogism. In the stories written by Anton Chekhov, story written by Alice Munro, story written by Indian writer Prem Chand, you will always find monologism. So storytelling, short stories are always the part of monologism. What is monologism? One narrator, one voice, one person is narrating everything. That is one voice narrator. ये याद रखना, अच्छे से याद रखना. Now after this, the next concept is that when you are reading a context in the relation of a society, or context itself is a society, what is the most important phenomena? What is the most important phenomena in a society, in a context? Time is the most important phenomena. समय सबसे बड़ी चीज है. Do you know that we are living in multiple time zones? The world is divided in 24 time zones. Even if you remember the Greenwich Mean Time, GMT, then IMT, Indian Mean Time, if you remember, it passes by Allahabad, Naini. आपको पता होगा that we are 5:30 hours ahead from Greenwich line. Then the timing of India and Pakistan has 30 minutes difference. You must have seen all these things. But time is not constant. Time doesn't stop. Time never stops. Time keeps on going. Now, repeating once again, what did we say? That every language, every linguistic thing, every statement has a meaning related to context. Everything has a relation to context. Context helps the language to give a meaning. But now, the context itself is not stable. Context अपने आप में stable नहीं है. Why context is not stable? Because situation is based on time. Context is based on time. Social interpretation, social meanings, everything is based on time, and time is not stable. So when time is not stable, how can you rely upon a meaning which is based on context? Batao, tell me this thing. We were very happy with our first mobile phone, the small one. The time changed, we don't even want that mobile. So the value of that mobile came to an end according to time. We all know that we all are the subject of time. We are the students of literature, we are the lovers of literature. आपको अच्छे से पता है, you all know that time is the greatest leveler. Remember Thomas Gray, time is the greatest leveler. Remember, to his coy mistress, Andrew Morville, क्या बोलता है वो? He simply says that the time is flying by. Had I have, what does he say? There's a line, I missed the line. The line was, I missed it. What is the line? Opening line, coy mistress. What is the line? I just missed it. I'm forcing my brain. Had I the time, this coyness would have been no crime, thou by the side of Indian Ganges. What is the opening line? Anybody who can give me? Had I the world enough, O lady. Had I the world enough, O lady, this coyness for no crime. So he says there is no time. Time is passing by. That's what they say. Time ki value karni hai. Time is very, very important. So technically when the time is changing, everything gets changed. William Shakespeare in his famous sonnet number 18, shall I compare thee? He says that I will make you immortal. I'll make you immortal, that even the time cannot change you. In his sonnet, that let me note the marriage of true minds, he says that love is not love which admit the impediments and changes according to the time. So even Shakespeare knows that the love changes according to the time. So technically, Time is the base. Now time is uncontrolled. You can't control time. So when you can't control time, you can't control context. When you can't control context, there is no meaning. हर चीज का मीनिंग खत्म हो जाता है समय के साथ. Do you believe in this thing or not? Do you believe in this thing that everything loses significance and value according to time? The time can change anything. Do you believe in this thing? Right? Remember what John Dryden said in Mac Flecknoe. All things are subject to decay, and when fate summons, monarch must obey. So technically, the time can change anything. And this is called the base idea of post-structuralism. This is the base idea. Because the structuralism or the structuralist theorists or the philosophers, they found meaning. They found meaning from anthropological approach. They picked the meaning from the book, took the context from society and developed the meaning. But technically the meaning cannot be found. So the post-structuralist philosophers like the famous one, the Claude Lévi-Strauss, Judith Butler, Michel Foucault, all of these people, they question when the time is not stable, when the time is not fixed, it simply shows that we do not have any meaning. It's impossible to have the meaning. Remember this thing that even Plato said this thing that we are, our education system, our learning, everything is based on a big lie. एक बहुत बड़े झूठ पे है. All we need to have is a transcendental signifier, a signifier which keeps on changing according to the time. This is again a hypothesis. And moreover, one more thing in science theory, in ये जितनी भी साइंस थ्योरी हैं या जितनी भी मिस्ट्री थ्योरीज हैं, ऑल द मिस्ट्री थ्योरीज, दे सिंपली से दैट द टाइम इज एन इल्यूजन. हाउ डू वी काउंट टाइम? व्हाट इज द बेस ऑफ टाइम? हाउ डू वी काउंट टाइम? हाउ डू यू नो दैट 24 आवर्स आर पास्ड? कभी सोचा है? हैव यू एवर वंडर्ड अबाउट दीज थिंग्स? हाउ द टाइम इज पास? हाउ डू वी हैव अ ट्रैक ऑफ टाइम? हाउ डू वी काउंट इट? इट जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ एक स्टूडेंट के फादर ने ज्वाइन किया है. नमस्ते सर. अतुल के फादर हैं आप. नमस्ते. देखिए 24 आवर्स वी नो द टाइम, बट हाउ डू वी काउंट द टाइम? बिकॉज ऑफ द वे अर्थ रोटेट्स. So our time itself is not reliable. It is simply based on the speed of earth, which is like 40,000. I'm not confirmed 100%. I have heard somebody talking 40,000 kilometer per per hour, I think, like 18,000 miles per hour. So 40,000 kilometer. Earth is moving with this speed. What if the speed is gradually changing? We are overburdening earth. We are playing with climate. So what if this changes and then time changes and everything gets changed in time? There is also a faith that there is a time dimension. So technically the time itself is not sure. See, if you think the literature is related to syllabus, if you think literature is related to books, then my friend, you may qualify NET, but you will never be a teacher, a thinker, a professor. Think about it. What exactly has the base of the meaning? What is the meaning? Suppose this is an important book for NET exam. After 5 months, it has no value. NET is done. You have qualified, no value. So if it loses the significance, everything is losing the significance according to the time. समय के साथ खत्म हो रहा है. So post-structuralist philosopher came to the conclusion that there is no meaning possible. Meaning possible है ही नहीं. What is the base? Because time cannot be controlled. So if time is not controlled, no meaning can be fixed. Then deconstruction came. Deconstruction came in the response of post-structuralism. Deconstruction said that instead of finding the time and going for anthropological approach, taking reference from the society, why can't we simply rely upon the text? Why can't we simply focus on the reading things on the books? And why can't we just find out the meaning from the society only, which is in the text, in literary point of view? Technically he said that, sir, जरूरत से ज़्यादा हवा में मत उड़ो. डिकंस्ट्रक्शन ने बोला भैया ज़्यादा बातें मत करो, किताब में फोकस करो, किताब का मीनिंग किताब से लाओ. Deconstruction has its limitations, but deconstruction also has a valid point. If I have to find out a meaning, I will find it right now for me, or I will wait for thousands of years and change of the meaning. बोलो क्या meaning चाहिए? Tell me this thing. You want the meaning right now, or you want the meaning thinking about philosophy that thousands of years the meaning will be changed? So you want it after 1,000 years. ऑफलाइन क्लासेस अभी अनाउंसमेंट नहीं है. अनाउंसमेंट होगा तो वी विल सी कि अभी ऑफलाइन क्लासेस हमें स्टार्ट करनी है कि नहीं करनी है, क्योंकि मंथ ऑफ मई जो एग्जाम है उसके लिए टाइम बहुत कम है. सो इवन इफ वी स्टार्ट द क्लासेज यू विल कम एंड यू विल फोर्स अस टू फिनिश द सिलेबस विद इन 2 months, विच इज प्रैक्टिकली नॉट पॉसिबल इन ऑफलाइन बैचेस. इन ऑनलाइन वी हैव एवरीथिंग अरेंज्ड. ठीक है, ऑनलाइन में अच्छे से सिलेबस कवर हो जाएगा, ऑफलाइन में इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल इन 2 months. मोनिका गर्ग, बहुत सही लाइन लिखी आपने. बट इसमें एक चीज, एक रेफरेंस देखो. We want the meaning right now. We don't want the meaning in philosophical senses. The time will change everything. Deconstruction said that everything is in the text. There is nothing out of the text. This is a tagline of deconstruction, that there is nothing out of the text. So whatever you study, what you study should go for the text only. One message for all the students who are watching it, please focus. This is a message. Many of you are saying that why are you not sending the link in the groups? We have repeatedly told you to subscribe the channel. आपको notification आ जाएगा. हमने आपके साथ बहुत लिंक आपको दिए हैं, but repeatedly giving you the link can irritate a lot of students. Some of the students that told me that sir we are busy in office, so do not send us the link. That's why we go for the status. We upload the link on status, and it's a simple request to you. Subscribe the channel. You will not miss any update. You will get it, right? So find it. Now, in deconstruction, what did they say? That there is nothing out of the text. The text is a gas. The text has everything. And then deconstruction simply believed that there are two types of meanings. Now, please focus. Two types of meanings are there. The first one, the present meaning, and the second one, the absent meaning. दो मीनिंग होते हैं, the present meaning, the absent meaning. How will you understand the present meaning and absent meaning? How will you find the present meaning and absent meaning? There are two meanings. I'll give you an example in my way. When you want to go for a movie, we all love movies, we all watch movies. You want to go for a movie, you go to your father and you request your father that please allow me to go for a movie, and your father says, do what you want. How many meanings are there? Your father said, do what you want. How many meanings you have? The present meaning in front of you is that do what you want, it's okay, go for the movie. But the hidden meaning is that it doesn't want you to go. He is angry. He is saying that don't go. Let's make it funny. A husband is trying to do something, wife says no, don't spend money on these things, something like that, and the lady finally says fine. So what do you mean with this fine? Is she happy? Okay. Or is she's giving you a warning? You're trying to do something, she said fine. So what do you understand? It's simple. So there are two meanings. So every text has a surface level meaning, and the same text also has a hidden meaning. So the role of a reader is to find out the surface meaning and also has to interpret the hidden meaning. That's what literature teaches you. The non-literary students, the students who have no idea about literature, will simply read the surface level meaning. But the students of literature will find out the deep meaning inside. Students of literature जो है उनको deep meaning मिल जाएगा. You remember the famous work written by Christina Rossetti, The Goblin Market. One sister is seduced by the goblins, and the other sister who comes to rescue her simply says that eat me, drink me. So is it the first level meaning, eat me, drink me, that eat my body? No, it has a deeper meaning, which we relate to homosexuality. So technically that there are some present meaning and some absent meaning. This is called the metaphysics of presence and metaphysics of absence in deconstruction theory by Jacques Derrida. I hope you have understood all these things. Now I will take some gap because when I get involved in my lecture, I put all my energy, and now I need some rest. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being the part of the classes, for motivating me to take your classes. This is our Vineet Pane family. So take care, bye, and enjoy the day. Take care.